The tennis world has been left absolutely stunned. Qinwen Zheng, the Olympic gold medalist, the former world number 4, the player who once crushed Eala's dreams, was left completely speechless. And not just because she lost. Because of how she lost. Down a set and a break with her Washington campaign seemingly over Eala did something extraordinary. She didn't just fight back. She dominated. She completely flipped the match on its head, winning 7 consecutive games and leaving the Olympic champion helpless on the court. Zheng, who had been in control for most of the match, could only watch as Eala dismantled her game. The frustration was visible. The body language said it all. And at the net, the handshake said even more. In the on-court interview, when asked what it felt like to be so popular, Eala gave a response that perfectly captured the moment. I think the question should be rephrased as, what's it like to be Filipino? This was redemption. This was revenge. And this was the moment Eala announced that she is no longer a rising star, she is a force to be reckoned with. The match started exactly as Zheng Qinwen would have wanted. The Olympic champion came out firing on all cylinders. Eala had started strong. She broke Zheng's serve early and raced to a 2-0 lead. The Filipino fans in the stands erupted, waving their flags and chanting her name. But then Zheng woke up. The former world number 4, who has been dealing with a right elbow injury that required surgery and caused her ranking to plummet to number 123, began to find her rhythm. She rattled off 3 consecutive games, taking a 5-3 lead before closing out the set 6-4. The momentum had completely shifted. Zheng had racked up 14 aces throughout the match and seemed to have the upper hand. Eala, meanwhile, looked unsettled. The frustration was visible on her face. But here's where the story takes a turn. Eala's coach, Joan Bosch of the Rafa Nadal Academy, spoke to her during the changeover. She later recalled his words. He said that I have to keep going because if I'm there every ball I'll have my chances. And I did. Like always, he's right. That simple message became the turning point of the match. What happened next was nothing short of extraordinary. At 4-3 in the second set, Zheng had just broken Eala at love. She was 2 games away from victory. The match seemed all but over. But then something clicked for Eala. She broke Zheng's serve at love, kick-starting a stretch of 7 consecutive games that completely flipped the match on its head. Eala took the second set 6-4, forcing a deciding set. And then in the third set she raced to a 4-0 lead, breaking Zheng's serve twice. Zheng finally managed to get on the board, but it was too little too late. Eala broke back and secured the match with a final score of 4-6, 6-4, 6-1. The statistics told the story. Zheng had 14 aces and 35 winners, but she also committed 46 unforced errors. Eala, on the other hand, stayed consistent with 25 unforced errors and just 4 aces. She broke Zheng's serve 6 times in all. It was a masterclass in resilience. Eala had been down, but she never gave up. She trusted her game, she trusted her coach, and she trusted herself. And it paid off. The Filipino crowd in Washington, which had been vocal throughout, erupted in celebration. Eala had done the impossible. She had beaten the Olympic champion. And she had finally exorcised the demons of her 2023 Asian Games loss. This victory was about so much more than advancing to the next round. It was about redemption. Nearly 3 years ago, Eala had faced Zheng in the semifinals of the 2023 Asian Games in Hangzhou, China. It was a match that tested her limits. The then 18-year-old Filipina fought back from a 2-5 deficit in the second set, saved multiple match points, and forced a deciding set. She even took a 3-1 lead in the third set. But then fatigue caught up with her. She had played doubles the day before. She had given everything she had. And she simply ran out of gas. Zheng won 6-1, 6-5, 7-6-3. Eala settled for the bronze medal. Zheng went on to win the gold. That loss haunted Eala for 3 long years. But tonight she finally got her revenge. The victory was a powerful statement to the tennis world. It proved that Eala is no longer the same player who lost that Asian Games semifinal. She has grown. She has improved. She has evolved into a player who can beat anyone on any given day. And Zheng knew it. The Olympic champion who had dominated from the service line with 14 aces was left completely speechless. One moment from the match went viral almost immediately. The handshake at the net. Zheng gave Eala one of her patented frosty handshakes, briefly clasping her hand before immediately turning to the umpire's chair. It was brief. It was cold. It was unmistakably frustrated. But was it disrespect? According to Zheng's own explanation, it was not intended as a slight toward her opponent. In January 2025, Zheng explained her approach: "I always give a handshake to my opponent. I feel that's basic respect. It doesn't matter if I win or lose, I will give a handshake. But not always with a smiling face, I know myself. And I don't often hug my opponent because I feel that's unnecessary." She added, "If I lose, I will give basic respect and that's it. That's why you wouldn't see me lose a match and then have a happy face towards my opponent. If you did, that would be strange and would mean I didn't care about that match on that day." For Zheng, the frosty handshake was a reflection of her own frustrations, not disrespect toward Eala. She is a fierce competitor. She hates losing. And she had just been completely dominated in the third set. The 23-year-old has had a frustrating journey since her 2024 Olympic triumph. An elbow injury slowed her down, followed by surgery that essentially ended her 2025 season. Her ranking has plummeted from world number 4 to number 123. And the inconsistency of 2026 has been difficult to manage. But for Eala, the handshake didn't matter. What mattered was the victory. She had beaten the Olympic champion. She had settled the score. And she had announced herself as a genuine force on the WTA Tour. In the post-match on-court interview, Eala was asked about her popularity. And her response was absolutely perfect. The interviewer said, "What is it like to be this popular everywhere around the world, even here in Washington?" Eala, who has always carried her Filipino identity with pride, responded, "I think the question should be rephrased as what's it like to be Filipino?" She then added, "Salamat mga kababayan, thank you my countrymen." It was a moment that resonated with Filipinos around the world. She made sure that the spotlight was not just on her but on her community. On the Filipino community in Washington, which had come out in full force to support her. On the Filipino diaspora, which had been following her journey every step of the way. Eala also expressed her appreciation for the support she received. "I think the community here in DC is amazing. I think there was a great atmosphere for both players and I'm really happy with my win today." Her words were humble. They were grateful. And they were a reflection of the values that have made her so beloved. As one commentator noted, she is already regarded as one of the most followed tennis stars in recent years. And her response shows exactly why. She doesn't just carry the Philippine flag. She carries the hopes and dreams of an entire nation. And she does it with grace, humility, and unwavering pride. With the demolition of Qinwen now complete, Eala's focus shifts to the next challenge. And it's a big one. Eala will face defending champion and 7th seed Leylah Fernandez of Canada in the second round. The Canadian left-hander, who also has Filipino roots through her mother, defeated Magda Linette in the first round. This is a battle of two of the WTA Tour's brightest young left-handers. Fernandez is a Grand Slam finalist, having reached the 2021 US Open final. She has a 1-0 head-to-head record against Eala, having defeated her in straight sets at the Stuttgart Open in April 2026. Eala, who had a first-round bye in Washington, knows the challenge ahead. She said after her victory over Zheng, "I think it's going to be a very tough match for me. Leylah is such an amazing player and an amazing person as well. So I think right now my first priority is to recover, take care of my body so that I can arrive in the best shape possible for me." The match is scheduled for Wednesday, July 29. And the Filipino community in Washington will be there waving their flags and cheering their hero. Eala is just getting started. And the tennis world is watching.